Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. We are back for another episode of Bricks and Beyond, a creator showcase series. For those of you that may be joining me for the very first time, Bricks and Beyond is a showcase series that highlights members of the LEGO community. Each episode of the series provides a personalized look into the person behind the account. Today's guest, he is joining me from my home state, the Keystone State, otherwise known as Pennsylvania. He is the host of an Instagram live series known as Stud Buds. He was a contestant on LEGO Masters Season 1, and most importantly, he is an all-around great person. He goes by Certified LEGO Boy on Instagram, but I'm sure you'll recognize him as the one and only Manny Garcia. Let me get him in here.
Hello,
Brother,
hello, hello,
what is
hello.
good?
What's up, my man
How are you?
Keith? I'm doing all right. I had a fight with my beard and it just ran away. What can I tell you?
Well,
But
as I
yeah,
mentioned, it ain't going anywhere over here.
yes. I figured to all who's watching again, Keith. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This is just a delight,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have fun this evening. But yeah, we were speaking earlier, and I sent you a message, don't be frightened or harmed, by the appearance
Well,
and then yeah, you got the joke.
I,
Yeah,
I
it's something that I do, I figured, we started the month of
yeah,
March. I
yeah.
just
No,
a
no.
different look.
I
So
uh
yeah.
I didn't take you as a guy that would like throw a wrench at me like last minute, but I'm not gonna lie. You texted me like what 15 minutes
Yeah,
prior telling me about
yeah,
something with your appearance. I was like, what did he do? I was
yeah.
like,
It was the beard.
and it just a shave.
That's
That's a shave.
yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
it. Just a
Yeah.
shave.
Yep.
But we are
Uh
here. I heard your intro. Yes, we're here in the state of Pennsylvania.
yep.
Hope the other
Right.
side of PA is treating you well,
Yeah, I was
of
gonna say
course.
I did not know that we are literally not that far from each other. We are what I think 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours.
Yes,
So
yes. I'm over here on the east side, Philadelphia. You're Pittsburgh side,
yep.
which I
Hence
love.
hence the
I love the
hat.
city of Pittsburgh. Yes. See, I don't
Uh
want to keep this on. I figured I figured if I wear a hat, if I take this off, then I'm, all the. You see, so let me just put this back on. I look young. I
hey,
take whatever compliments are thrown. I've heard it. Yo, you look so young. You look like a little kid, and I'm like.
everybody
No,
tell Manny how young he looked.
there we go. Yeah, but to who all know me back home, I mean they know that I sporadically just do this. I just shave my beard off, and
hey,
it's
hey,
actually
you
quite cool, and I feel light.
I was gonna say you
So
got it. You got to keep people guessing because people get in a groove of things. And
yes,
you know what? I'm not gonna lie. When I shaved my beard last time, I had people who did not recognize me. They walked past me and they no acknowledgement whatsoever. So it kind of gives you a fresh start. You can shave and just go somewhere and nobody recognizes you.
there we go. There we go. But keep talk to me. Yeah, new month. It's Tuesday. Any
Yeah.
new projects? I mean,
So I
what are
know
we working on?
when you and I when we chatted not too long ago, I mentioned I'm in the Steel Sea Lug, so we
Mhm.
got the Pittsburgh home show coming up.
Yes.
So my buddy Josh and Josh is actually he's in the live watching now. We've
Nice.
been working
Shouts to
on
Josh.
a mock for for the home show.
Okay.
We built a replica of the outfield wall of PNC Park.
Okay.
And then he built the pierogies from the racing pierogies from the stadium. So pretty much we're going to have a scene set up where the pierogies are battling the upscale pirate minifigure
Okay.
at PNC Park. So trying to pull the Pittsburgh vibes. You know, trying
Okay.
to fish for some hometown compliments. So, all
I got some for you. I don't know
right,
if you heard the news. I don't know if you heard the news. But Heinz ketchup, it's out there in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh. To who all don't know, Heinz ketchup, came from Pittsburgh.
it's a big deal.
Um,
Yeah,
the bigger deal is that Heinz ketchup, you might want to look this up. Heinz ketchup is actually going to do their very own seltzer drinks.
interesting. I did
So
not know that.
basically, they're gonna do their own version of like White Claws or
Yeah, yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. Oh, I
So
didn't know that. Interesting. It's not ketchup
yeah,
flavored, is it?
no, no, no. That's the one thing that like the news they actually they were cracking at it. It was a joke.
Yep.
It was just interesting, and I'm like, you know, you could actually mix art with when life imitates art or art imitates life, like how you're doing. You're doing something that's Pittsburgh
Yep.
based. It'd be cool, if you just had a Heinz can, spritz.
You know what? We were
So,
talking about that.
unexpected, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's happening. It's happening.
I'm
That's a good idea.
I'll look that up. But it's funny you say that because we were actually talking about trying to figure out how to make out of Lego a Heinz ketchup bottle, like they used to have at Heinz Field, where the
Okay.
bottle would tip and then like the ketchup would look like it was pouring down on the scoreboard.
Okay.
We thought about trying to do that, but we had like such a short amount of time that it's just like too many logistics and too many working parts on trying to figure out how to do that. So it's something we're considering, but again, we got to figure out how to do it. So if you have any suggestions, I know you have some talented people in your circle of builders.
Oh
So
yeah, we could. Yeah, nowadays I not to cut you off. I'm so sorry, but anything is possible. Now you gave me, like now you're giving me ideas. I'm over here instead of the ketchup bottle. We got to do cans. We got to do a
yep,
whole
yeah,
bunch of these.
yep.
No, teasing, teasing, teasing. But yeah, just to mix in, like what's really going on nowadays. I heard that news, and then yeah, you being from Pittsburgh, that Heinz ketchup, they're making these, these their own White Claws. They're making
I
like these alcoholic.
I don't know why I don't know why I missed that. I missed that news, so I must not have paid. I must not have seen it.
Anybody can tell you I constantly I'm on the news all the time. That's
Well, that's
just
probably
that's just my thing.
why I avoid the news. I'll come to you for my news sources.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, back to the show. It's later on this year. The show's later on this year, correct? You've
No,
posted something towards the
it's this weekend.
it's
Yeah,
this
it's
weekend.
this weekend. It
Holy
starts
smokes.
Friday and goes till the following weekend. So, yeah,
Wanna where is it at? If you want to
it's
share where
yeah.
it's
So it's at David L. Lawrence Convention Center, right down in downtown Pittsburgh.
okay.
I think it's the Home and Garden Show, so it sounds weird, but it's just like it's the big convention where all the contractors come and set up and sell their services. But the lug, we always get a massive space there to set up, and
Nice.
so we
Nice.
have trains and I mean, you name it, we have it. We're doing a bunch of different worlds this year. Like we have a world that's all based off of Disney, so there's gonna be like a lot of Disney builds.
Nice.
All kind of, I'll send you pictures. I mean, I have to head down tomorrow to get my stuff with Josh, our stuff set up. So I can send you some pictures of the setup because it should be pretty close to set up. So
Anything towards the end of this year? Was there any shows?
Brick World, I'm going there in June.
Big World in
I'm
June.
not
Okay.
I'm not displaying there. Just go. It's my first time going there. So
Okay.
yeah,
So that all
yep.
right. Um, and so you're already set up. You already have everything set to
Yeah,
go. So
everything's done. I just got to get it down there tomorrow. So
anything to
we'll,
show off? Any
yeah,
quick, anything that you have there, that you wanna.
I do, but I'll break it.
Oh, okay, okay,
It's
okay.
it's
I feel
it's
like
massive. I do have pictures. I will share them tomorrow when I get the whole display set up. I'll just post them on my
I'm
page
just
tomorrow.
excited.
So.
I want to see what
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
but
I hope
that's
people like it because he and I spent a lot of time on it. and it's just you don't for people who don't build mocks. It's kind of like an end product of anything in life. Like if you see a product on a shelf and you don't realize like the work that goes into those products, like anything. And so like to me that's a mock. Like when you see somebody's mock, like even the massive ones, you're like, "Oh yeah, that's really cool." But yeah, you just, slap some bricks together and that's that. People don't get like the planning process. You get what I mean. I mean,
I got a very good question for you then,
yeah, let's
Keith.
hear it.
Do you keep your marks after you build them?
So this one that we made for the log, it will be kept together. We actually put we made a budget and we bought stuff, and it's going to be kept together mainly for the sole purpose of it's Pittsburgh themed,
Okay.
so it literally can go to any show we go to. Um,
Okay.
Other than that, I only have one other mock that I've made that I've kept together. It's the most random thing. My son loves Garrett, the minifigure, the carrot, Garrett the carrot, the minifigure from series 23,
Ye-
maybe 24.
I got them
Yeah,
somewhere.
one,
Yeah.
yeah, one of those. So I built an upscaled carrot,
Nice.
and I displayed that. Actually, it's on my page. I displayed it at our Lego Day. We had a setup at the mall over here.
I could have
Um,
sworn I had a carrot in here as well. I'm
I
looking
can't remember
around trying
what
to see if I could.
series he. It's 20. I think it's 23, 24.
Holy
Uh,
smokes. Well, I have a brick built carrot. I'm trying to see if I could
oh, dude. See,
not to step out the.
I couldn't find one anywhere. So I literally like when I built it, it started as like four sides, just like the why am I drawing the corners? The corners were open so you could see through it. And then he and my dad were messing around in the basement one day and they knocked it over. And I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
okay, well I'll just rebuild it. And then I rebuilt it and I actually built it back as a full upscale.
Okay.
That's upstairs, so I don't have that to share either. I have all the stuff. I just don't have anything to show. So
No, well, it's fine. The reason that and again, this is cool that we get the chance and this opportunity to chat about this and ask ourselves those important questions, being in the community and just sharing with others as well.
yeah,
So
yep,
I've asked builders, things are done, projects or commissions or anything like that. But when people do mocks with Lego, I always ask that question because there's so much so much personal that you give in that's
oh yeah,
without instructions, batteries and instructions not included on mocks.
yeah,
So I asked that, I'm like, do you keep it? Me, myself, if you was to ask me, yes, I there are certain things that I've built years ago and I
okay,
still kept. There are certain things, but I asked this question to somebody earlier today, and they were like, no, or yesterday they were like, no, if I ever need a piece from this and I'm building something else and I'll tear it down. I've heard that answer a whole bunch of times.
yep,
So it's interesting, I guess, the mindset of a Lego builder, especially if you do mocks and you do organic builds. It's something again personal. It's something that when people see mock stuff, they're like, I never seen Lego do this. Can I
yeah,
buy this? Or
yep, yep, yep,
all these other questions that you're like, well, how do I even begin? Telling somebody, that yeah, they're appreciative of Lego. The fans, of course, when we do Lego shows and exhibit at Lego shows, we have those 2 3 days, to set up. They
yep,
have, exhibitors day and all that sort of good stuff. All the stuff that's not for the public, but still the public comes in and they're like, how can I
yeah.
buy and
I know.
then we're all in a room trying to explain to folk that no, unfortunately, this is the mock, this
Yep.
is all. But it's needed. It's something
Yeah.
in the community that is growing pains,
Yep.
and I've had a lot of people ask me, well, Manny, how do you build organic? How do I teach my kids or show my kids, not to because it is expensive. It's an expensive, so it,
So people think sets are expensive. Getting into the mock world can
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
very,
yeah,
especially like when there's stuff you need, and like if you have to go to Bricklink and you can't find the one seller that has everything, and you're outsourcing from several different sellers. I mean, the shipping alone
yeah,
can
yeah.
break you. I mean, it's crazy.
I say, the fascinating thing with Lego, right? Say for instance, you have either 100 to 1,000 Lego sets, doesn't matter. You want to build, after the instructions, after building whatever, as many sets that it takes, for you to realize that, you know what, I want to build something completely unique, completely organic. You could get a whole bunch of references, whether it be art
Yep.
or whether it be other mocks or other builds. Needless to say, if you break down from 110 sets, 100 sets, 1,000 sets, you could derive and you could ascertain certain parts, and you could build something great.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
that's. I figured I mentioned that, and I say this because I know a lot of people share that common thought of when we go into a flea market, yard sale, whatever. We see folk just selling, their loose Lego stuff like that, and then I look around and I'm like, wow, this is basically just a bin of a whole bunch of sets.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my God, this set, this
Yep.
set. But by the time you put it in the car, you already count like 7, 8 sets. So so that's probably like one of the most radical, most important things about this toy, this brick, is that you could build anything. And when it and I tell parents, how can how grab a minifigure, you build a minifigure pirate, then you build them a
Yep.
boat, and then you go
Oh yeah.
from and also home based things too, like how you're doing this home and garden, but you're building something that's local. You're doing so
Exactly.
that sort of stuff, anything that's
Yep.
personal. So then I always ask that question to builders. I'm like, well, do you keep it? Do you me? I do. I have things here that, forget it, I won't tear apart. I did the bodega, and I highly doubt that I ever tear that apart. I think I'll
Now,
keep that forever.
did did you guys just a brief Lego Master questions here? Did you guys get to keep anything you built, or did you have to take it apart?
Uh no and
No.
no. We didn't get to keep anything.
Okay.
Truth be told, it was really in the moment sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So and there was fixings in the background. There was a
Yeah.
background to like to whatever you were seeing in camera.
The
So
glitz and the glamour
they
on camera.
yeah, they had
Yeah.
their own agenda, and
Yep.
the agenda was to keep a new day, a new chapter, a new page in the book. That's
Sure.
how I felt. So we always kept things. We were on our toes, definitely.
Okay. Well,
So
you
so
guys were the trial run too. I mean, you were first up.
sheep to the slaughter. I mean,
Yeah. That's
but but like how Dad likes to say it, how they rolled out the red carpet on season one.
sure.
They didn't hold back. There was nothing that we could say was ill mannered, or it
Sure.
was nothing. I mean, they catered to us like if we were, yeah, yeah. Great. So no, we didn't get to keep anything. Listen,
Okay.
when we were on studio, all we wanted to do personally was leave the back room and just go to the brick pit and start building.
Yeah.
Like there was a certain energy on, like, forget all this, man. Like, forget sleep,
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
eating. Like, so, but it was uncharted. We didn't know what we were doing. Like
Sure. Yep.
my fault. And again, there's no shame. I went into Lego Masters, doing it with my father, and the fact of me being there was, I thought of it like that was it. But it took for me to be in the bottom two,
Uh-huh.
to realize, like, wait a minute, this is serious. These people are actually treating me like
Sure.
I'm a Lego master. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
get your stuff get it together, forget it forever. Like, really,
Yep.
Um, but again, it was trial and error. There was times that I told my dad, I was like, Dad, build this, or we're gonna do this, but there's a possibility that we might have to tear this down. And he's like, What do you mean? And I'm like, Dad, that's the thing with Lego. There is a trial and error in this.
Yeah.
There's like a systematic, and intricate interlocking brick
Yep.
system. Sometimes you
Yep.
have to figure certain things out, but in this algorithm, while you're doing this math here, there are certain factors, certain equations that are not as needed.
Sure.
We could get to, yeah, just we were first episode, we were stuck on A, B, and
Okay.
C, but we learned how to make it to the end of the alphabet.
Yeah.
We figured out what we were meant to do.
Can
So
I can I I want can I if you don't mind, can I interrupt you for people that might not have seen you on Lego Masters or ever been able to watch the show. What I would really like for you to tell them is so you obviously your partner was your dad.
yes.
Which to me that is just an incredible experience in itself. Can you just can you just give me like a background on like was your dad ever a Lego builder himself, or was that just something that you guys shared as kind of like a bond together? And can you just like tell me like how you got into the whole scene of Lego Masters and then involving him too?
Okay, so my bio, in Lego Masters Season 1, was that I've been doing Lego since I was 5 years old.
Yep.
And very first time that I recall, like a vivid Christmas, or a very, very vivid time in my childhood. I was at a store. I picked up the castle set from back then in the 80s.
Okay.
And my parents bought me that Lego set, and I was just stuck on the Lego. It was for me, Lego was like never ending.
Okay.
It never Once I picked Lego up, it was sort of like a Rubik's cube. People
Okay.
have figured out the three Rubik's cubes
Sure.
blindfolded,
Yes.
upside down, jumping out of a plane. But when it comes to Lego, it's something that it's like the Rubik's cube, but you never figure it out.
No.
This is never
Uh-uh.
ending.
Uh-uh.
You'll never
Yep.
really quite get
Yep.
it. And 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 then my peers and the guys, that I talk to on a day to day, um it's like, man, Manny, it's like you're bold, you're insistent, you're Steve Jobbing it over here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm like, to think, right, that there are elements that are discontinued, to think that there are elements that were created yonder, but yet again, there are elements that are released every month, every year,
Yep.
newly. To think that there is like this backstory to Lego from whenever you picked it up.
Yep.
I mean, there could be somebody that could pick up Lego tomorrow morning,
Sure.
grow a love for it. But then it's like, oh my God, they did Lego Star Wars, 10 years ago. So then you then sucked into like this time warp
Yep.
beam. And it's for me, um the most thing that the one thing that impresses me and excites me with Lego is when they come out with new elements and new parts. And I'm like, wow, man, how cool would it be, to
Sure.
figure out
Yep.
the function with these
Yep.
new elements versus, like these old vintage prehistoric parts that I've asked people. I'm like, yo, you ever seen this piece? They're like, no,
No.
no,
Yeah.
I've never seen that. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, are you sure it's Lego, Manny? I mean, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this is actually, so it's
Sure.
trippy for me. When it
Yeah.
comes to Lego, it's like I'm holding this Rubik's cube, but it's constantly changing colors on me.
Yeah.
It's constantly changing, like a twist. So there's like, and that's when they come out with new elements and new parts, new colors too. I mean, there's just even even thinking that Duplo is a system which you could incorporate with the regular 2x4 stud,
That
system brick.
that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I mean I learned that, probably over the past couple of years, but the blocks they look so different that it's just crazy that you can literally build
Yes.
using both. I mean it's incredible actually. I mean I'm assuming it was designed that way to be used that way. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you can literally buy Duplo for a kid as a what a toddler,
Yeah.
and like you can literally bring those with you the rest of your life, and even if it's just shoving them in a mountainside, you can use them.
Uh,
So
I never.
yeah,
Yeah. Again, going to get into the backstory, I never, as a kid, I didn't play with Duplo. They just hit me with the system brick, from
yeah,
the
yeah,
get
yeah.
go.
Yep,
And
yep.
I think my parents just noticed that I was more proactive in the house. When they told me to do something, I was more diligent, but they kept me cool with the Legos. And my birthday is in December,
Okay.
Christmas, so I got like a double whammy of
Oh,
Legos.
nice.
I'd say when I
Okay.
was a kid.
Yep.
And people ask me also, well, did you build? And I'm like, yeah, I used to build these like massive rocket ships
Oh,
that I
really?
could hold above my
Okay.
head. And it was because my dad and my mom, well, why don't you keep it? Da, da, da. And I was like, no. And I used to break it apart and I used to mix it in with all the other stuff,
Yep. Yep.
like I used to take these cockpits and I used to get these wings and these plates and I used to get the windows.
Okay.
I mean, it was a tchotchke.
Sure.
It was like this
Yeah.
hodgepodge, thing, but it was
Yeah.
mine. And then the best thing about it was that, while I'm swooshing this thing around the living room, all of a sudden it falls down the steps or, it falls. Something happens with
Yep.
the. What, what was that? What was that? Da, da. Oh, no, and I'm over here picking up the Legos, putting it up in the bin. And what do? Build something
Yeah.
else.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was
Yep.
so. So now as an adult, I did have a dark age. I had a dark age, obviously, when I graduated high school and I went to
Okay.
college. There was really no interest. But it was still in the back of my head, much so that the times that when I was in college, I used to buy small little boxes back in the early 2000s. Like whatever I could pick up from Walmart or
Okay.
Target or Kmart. At the
Sure.
time,
Yeah.
there was a whole bunch of
Yeah.
Kmart's.
Throwback.
Um, I remember I have a motorcycle. I have a Technic bike, the blue one
Okay.
from 2001.
Oh, nice.
Probably one of my, so there was times that, yeah, when the Lego was there, I was like, you know what, let me buy this
Sure.
just to keep myself on, but I wasn't headstrong until I had my oldest daughter, until I had
Okay.
Shiloh. She's turning 19, and so for 19 years, besides my infancy when I was a kid, I started buying Lego just because I could. Um, at the midst of having a kid, because I wanted to, as a father, I wanted to introduce that to my daughter.
Yeah. Sure.
That was probably like one of the easiest ways of me parenting and having a grip on the fact that I am a dad, I'm a
Yeah.
father. It's a
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yep.
But then just having that same passion and that same thrill as a father, as a fan of Lego, it was easy for me to be a dad.
And
Raising my daughters up
did
and.
she enjoy that experience with you?
Oh yes, very much so. I mean, my daughters, they got every single Friends set when they first came out.
Sure. Yep.
But lamentfully, I'd say a couple years ago, my daughter was like, "Dad, can you take this box?" And I was like, "Oh, it was all the stuff, she outgrew it."
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those stories. I'm like, man, of course. I think of it like, even when they're here, when my daughters are here in the room, they're always like, "Dad, do you have some for us to build?" I won't take the fact that my daughters might grow up to be adults and really be fans,
Yeah.
and really be
Yep.
into it, because
Yep.
that happens.
Yeah.
So, and I
So you're
never.
you're keeping all their stuff in a nice box so you can give it back to them and they'll have it all ready to
n-
go then?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I asked them a few times. I asked them, "Are you sure?" And my youngest, she does cheerleading. She does Girl Scouts. She's into performing arts and stuff like
Okay.
that. She goes to art school, so she really she's creative, like in
Yeah.
her own sense,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
which is still great. But it was really my oldest that handed me that box, and I was like, "Well, listen, sweetheart." I'm gonna play with it and I'm gonna break this down and I'm gonna build stuff with it, you know. So I still have a few pieces in the next room like that are there. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. But I tell my daughters, you know, by any means, whenever they want to come in here and get down, you know, they're more than
Yeah.
welcome. You know, I'm actually
So
facing my drawers here, all my organized bricks, and yeah, they always find something to build.
okay. So then how did your dad come about into
So
all this? Because that's what I'm just
my
really curious.
mm,
Did he prior let me so let me backtrack. When you were a kid, did he build with you then, or was it more of still just like a you thing, or is that something like you guys enjoyed together, or
I'd
hit or
say
miss?
I say both.
Okay.
I say both. I remember birthdays and Christmases, getting Lego sets, you know, and I'm the youngest of three, you know, even my siblings got down. You know,
Okay.
I remember Christmases, you know, opening up, you know, and my sister or it was something that was always supported.
Yeah.
You know, my family were deep supporters. We support and encourage each other. So
That's
that
good.
was one thing that they all saw that kept me tamed,
Okay.
you know, as an adolescent, as a juvenile, you
Yep.
know, it just kept me. I remember doing school projects, you know, and like Spanish class. I had a car, and I named every single part of the car in Spanish. You
Okay.
know, it's silly things like
Yeah.
that. Um, so it was always something that that was kept in my life. Like, man,
Okay.
you ain't building no Lego. Like, it was constant reminder of like, what are you doing? Not building Lego
Yeah.
or not? You know.
Yep.
And then dad was a trucker. Dad he was in the road for a while, and me again parenting and him being a husband as well. The way that it worked out. Uh, well, yeah, my dad's always been like a jack of all trades. My
Okay.
dad always was like the fixer upper of the house.
Hmm.
You know, I remember my dad accompanying my dad to Lowe's, Home Depot, picking up sheetrock.
Sure.
We're gonna redo, yeah. Um, it happened like this. I called my dad and I told him about this auditioning and this opportunity.
Okay.
And he was already retired from trucking. I think it was like the whole moon and the stars aligning. It was
Sure.
just
Yeah.
like a perfect um or casting. Maybe it was a good job from casting, finding and selecting. Because that's another thing that makes Lego Masters such a great family show. It's the cast and the contestants that make it,
Yep.
you know, what it is.
Yep.
So the show couldn't be what it is if it wasn't for the
Oh
cast.
gosh. Yeah, for sure.
Whichever way they edit it, whichever way they do whatever after, but they still do a great job in showcasing and yeah, uh, sharing with with everyone. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a TV show for Christ's sake.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, so and they actually the audition, you know, they wanted to make sure that you had the right minerals. They wanted to make sure you had the right
Okay.
contact. Because they couldn't afford somebody going in there and building, you know, AKs and grenades for Christ's sake. You get the point here, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
not to get
Yep.
dark. But you had to be mustered.
Yeah.
You had to have the right mindset that you're not gonna go on national television and build, you know.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah, you can't. You're okay.
Yep. I get you.
So that was a huge part, and being the first father and son team, I guess we were more pushed into the slaughter. Like there was an insisting, like because they saw that I did build organically and
Yeah.
the storytelling as well. It was just the belief in the first episode. It was just us believing, like, wait a minute, there was a light that switched on. You know, thank God that they didn't do eliminations the first episode, but it was like a checkmate. It was like really like check yourself, Manny. You know,
Yeah. Oh,
like yeah,
yeah.
and even production, you know, asks, you know, are you always this cocky? Are you always this macho? Always this certain? And me and my dad were looking at each other and we're like, well, yeah, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, we are. so again, that's sort of the, I guess, the dynamic, the multi dynamic. And I mean, so again, as far as my dad, I asked my dad again, him being retired, and he said, yeah. Little did he know what he was going into. Like he also didn't see what it was.
Yeah,
We were hearing what Amy and Jamie were saying, but we weren't listening.
sure. Yeah,
We were too
I get
busy,
it.
just doing our own
Yep,
thing. And I'm over here hyped with my dad. The first episode, I was acting like I won a Grammy. I'm like, oh snap! I build my first. I had this, and and it was so organic too. They
sure.
wanted story, and we had this. Being Hispanic, Puerto Rican, we did so much things in that first build. So we had like this, man. We got this in the bag.
Yeah, yeah,
Little did
yeah,
we know, that it just bit us in the butt because we ended up in and it was really like a check. Like, just check yourself.
yep,
I think my excitement and I think my thrill came from being in the room with Boone and Aaron and Tyler.
yep,
Heavy hitters.
yep.
People that have done great things. Way before
Sure.
me doing this thing with my dad.
Yep,
You understand? And just recognizing and realizing that, like I remember my dad poking me and being like, "Yo, you see that kid?" He was referring to Aaron, and he's like, "Yo, that boy right there is he's that boy's it.
yeah,
That
yeah.
boy's that boy's gonna be Lego
Okay.
Master. That boy is gonna
Yep.
that boy's gonna take this whole
Sure.
thing." And me, I looked at my dad, and I was like, "Yeah, he probably right." And being honest, I'm being honest here
Yeah.
because Aaron was mustard. I mean, this cat, and also Tyler too. I mean, and then again recognizing and realizing who I'm in the room with, but not so much competing towards, but building with.
Sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm building with Aaron
Yeah.
Newman. I'm
That's.
building with Tyler Sites. I'm
Yep.
building with, you know, uh, a great group of people that made season one to what it was.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. That in itself. Yeah. Yeah. I think you kind of got a vibe from me. I'm like that. I'm the experience type of person. Like, put all the cameras on you want. I don't care. I just like being in that moment and being around people who you wouldn't typically think of yourself getting to be around. Like, you probably never thought you'd be on a Lego man. Well, first of all, it's a new show, so whoever thought of a show about Lego? But the fact that you're there and then to be around the people that you were with, I mean, it's an amazing experience. I'm sure.
Again, I have no problem admitting I have no shame. People have asked me, "Well, man, have you done Lego shows? Have you done any Lego conventions before Lego Masters?" And I'm like, one. I did
Okay.
one Lego show, 2, 3 years before I did Lego
Okay.
Masters in 2019.
Okay.
Um, but then people are like, well, who is this cat? Who is this? It's not so much of my ability, it was more of my personality, and it was more about my dynamic. And me and my dad, we finished each other's sentences. We were so in tune, like we, we looked at each other and we were already in
Yeah.
sync.
Yep.
I mean, we're bilingual, for Christ's sake. We were hitting them with English and Spanish. So, I believe
Um,
that we were pretty much in our own world, and I sometimes it it is challenging just dealing with
sure.
s- just yeah, but needless to say, it was still a great experience. It was still, I tell myself, I did Lego Masters. Sometimes I can't even, stand myself. I'm glad, that these people actually, could withstand me and my dad, and all the bumping in heads. And there was times when people wanted to spit on the floor and kick their shoes, but you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
It was an experience in which it's like, your rationing just comes in quick.
Sure.
It's like, wait a minute, I'm far from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me
Yep.
get this again together. And doing it with my father. Um, I just had that reassurance. I had that backup. It was just he was my co-signer basically. He was like
Sure.
my Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
Okay.
was like I was MJ in the paint, and Dad was there to
Yep.
assist.
Yep.
You
Okay.
know, so it was just great. You know that when I'm about to go for this layup, I have this assist.
Yep.
It's coming in the alley oop, or my dad might bounce it off the court,
Yep.
or he might do full pass.
Love the
But
reference. Love it.
but it was like that. You
Yep.
know, it was just that play route, and no, of course, no regrets. I look back at Lego Masters and I'm like, you know what? What's done is done. What I did on Lego Masters, that's it. People ask me, would you have done anything different? I'm like, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
Yep.
again, it was me also because my dad, yes, he is a fan of Lego, but he's not as passionate. He doesn't
Sure.
have a room full of Lego. Yeah, you give him instructions and all that, but he's not that type,
Okay.
you know. But when we were on the show again, I was teaching my dad. I was
Yeah.
showing
Well,
my
that's
dad
nice too.
like the function of stuff.
Hmm.
And his assist was like, well, Manny, this looks great. This looks awesome. But how about you switch these two colors right here? And
Okay.
how about we do thump 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 and it looks like, and I'm like, so you're right. Let's go and
S-
do it. And then
So
and then the brick pit after running back and forth and seeing pieces. Trust me, bro, you got acclimated and your mindset was already like,
yeah.
I have trauma. Sometimes I look left and I'm looking like a brick pit. I'm looking like a big wall of Legos. Sometimes I look in here and I'm like, oh, this brings back memories. But you already know where stuff's at.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
already know, oh, this is da da da. So there was even times where production came to me and dad and they were like, and others as well. You guys mind building on your workstations? We want to catch you guys on because we were building in the
Oh,
brick
really?
pit. We were we
Okay.
were we were grabbing pieces and we
Sure.
were
Just
doing like those tchotchkes there at the brick pit, and
yeah.
and and they see like all this like rush and excitement at the
Yep.
brick pit, but they wanted to see that in the workstation.
Okay.
It's like put your shoes back
Yeah.
on, and come back to the workstation so we
Yeah.
could
Yep.
you know do it the right way. But that goes to show you where the headset was at,
Yeah.
where the head was at,
Yep.
because you're talking to people that are so used to building Legos, introverted people building Legos in the comfort of their living room in their pajamas and you know with a bag of chips.
Yeah.
But you
Exactly.
but the TV's on and you got
Yep.
makeup and you got you get it,
I
you're
get
all
it.
dolled up, and this is
I
this is
get it.
not the time for you to recreationally.
Yeah.
No,
Seeing you guys in your habitat just building on the floor doesn't sell the same way the drama at the table does.
but that's what makes a Lego master. That's
Yeah.
what really makes a Lego master.
Yep.
It's like the organized. I learned that, and you quite possibly don't need Lego masters to be one. I mean, it's taken years for me to notice that Lego has actually evolved. Now it's more polished. Now it's more refined. It's lesser stud. It's more on like, are you kidding me? Is that really a bouquet of
Yep.
flowers? I thought
Yep.
they were real.
Yep.
And it's intentionally made
Yeah.
to do that, to
Yeah.
be that.
Showpieces.
Because if you told somebody, hey, yo, check this out. I don't know where you came from, but
Yeah.
that's Lego. Huh? That came from a Lego box. You're kidding. You're
Hmm.
lying.
Uh-huh.
That's really
Yep.
Lego. And you're like, yeah, man, that's
Yep.
Lego. You could go buy it on the website of the, oh my God, I didn't know Lego
Yeah.
did that. So the
Yeah.
same,
Yeah.
so the same thing as Lego Masters, it's like, you really don't have to go on a show to be a Lego master, but you will get that Lego mastery again just playing with the toy
Sure.
and the bricks enough. And again, if you've been doing it, since the 90s, 80s, again, there's people in the community that school me on stuff from the 60s and the 70s when
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't around.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
would never even pretend to know that I know
me
stuff because.
it's
Yep.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. All my Lego sets, anything that I've acquired and accumulated is from like late 80s and up. I mean, I
Okay.
wouldn't even think of the one set that I want to get is that one castle, the first castle that I have, but that one's already,
Oh, I
sky
can.
high. It's
Yeah, like the
so
monorail, right?
I do have monorail.
You have
But
the
I
monorail.
bought it.
Oh
I have
man.
I have the motor. I have the track. I have the
Okay.
track. I don't have no set. I don't have no
Okay.
set with no instructions or anything like that. Those again go for sky high. And
Yep.
again, the beauty of Lego is that if you can get the parts, if you could collectively get the parts, you could build, you could
Yeah.
recreate, rebuild. Um, I'll mention this outside of the show or whatnot. Dealing in the community and just rubbing shoulders with the right people that again inspire and motivate you. I've 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 come across people that are that just blow my mind.
Hmm.
They're like, and I'm like, what are you building now? And they're like, well, I'm building this set that was unreleased from the
Oh,
80s. It's my
okay.
second, third one, and I'm like,
Interesting.
excuse me, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
There are certain Lego sets that were never
That's
they never came out.
interesting.
But there's people in the community that build them.
Huh.
And my
Interesting.
head's like the emoji, like you, I'm like, besides the fact that somebody that knows about these Lego, they're building it as well, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
it's a mind boggle to me. The
Yep.
the again the infinite play when it comes to Lego,
Oh yeah.
and as far as again as far as back to the show to Lego Masters, um, I gained so much. I because I reset myself with playing with Lego.
Okay.
I understood the importance of sorting, of um,
Yeah.
organizing your bricks.
Yep.
I saw the importance because after that, right after Lego Masters, our experience was that we recorded it in 2019, but it came out in 2020.
Yep.
2020, what happened? We were on a
Yep.
lockdown. We all had, this universal extracurricular time, to do stuff with our lives. So what did I do? I hit Amazon and I got all these, nut and bolt, sorting
Yep. The
things,
bins. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
and that's what I did in 2020.
Okay.
Coming after the show, I was like, you know what? Forget about. Okay, I did Lego Masters. It's done and over with. It's living up to it. It's like, what did you really gain from
Yep.
this? I'm gonna organize and sort my bricks,
Yeah.
man. You can catch me,
Yeah.
on the floor. What do you, and especially in 2020, what are you doing? I
Yeah.
told you, you called me 3 hours ago. I'm doing the same old thing. I'm over here sorting these bricks. Oh, all right, all right. Well, I'm just bored. You might want to get yourself some breaks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you can't go over here. You can't touch this stuff. Stay 6 feet away.
Yep.
You know, it
Yep.
was that sort
That
of.
was a
So
perfect time to do it. I mean,
there you go. So it brings me now to here. It brings us to here now, and reflecting about it, and again, I learned the storytelling. I learned it was very
it
important
is.
that when
Yep.
you build something, it's like, well, what's this? you
Yep.
know, what's the story?
Yep.
And then the technique, how you built it. And, I've also learned that what really gets you uh, and the real serious is showing people how
Mhm.
when you go to a Lego show, I've seen people have a display, but then they have a small mock-up on how
Oh,
it
that's nice.
works. I salute
Yeah.
people like that
Yep.
because
Yep.
some people just don't want to share. They just don't want to show you. But I applaud the exhibitors and people that showcase and show off their work that actually have a small mechanism or they have like a replica, but it's not polished. It's just like the inner workings.
Sure.
I love people
Yeah.
like that. I love builders like that.
Yep.
The technique and then the aesthetics. How well can you make this plant or this tree look like that with Lego bricks? I've learned all that with doing the show.
Yeah, like you said, some of the stuff people make there is a very fine line now where is this Lego? I mean, what season was that where they did that? Is this Lego? Um,
Season 4, I believe it was the last
okay,
season.
yeah, I mean some of that stuff. I mean, hey, it's just incredible. I mean, the way you can build things to
The
replicate.
rug was bugged out.
Yeah,
I'd say that.
yeah, that's
I would have never. Of course, us watching the show but I would have never thought that
no,
it was ambitious indeed.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
all hands on that
Yep.
one. Um, but again, the typewriter, I mean, even the stuff that Lego comes out with
Mhm.
themselves, I'm pretty sure n- nothing is can't be done.
No,
Especially
at this point,
with the
yeah.
especially with the new curved pieces, especially with all the again new elements and parts that they're doing. And when was it? A couple of years ago, a year or some ago, New Elementary, they actually put a suggestion, or they put like this
Oh yeah.
um survey
Yep.
on, what pieces, would you think, Lego should make or do and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I don't know if they took the advice or whatnot, but it's great that we have that now versus, people in the 70s and 80s that didn't have that opportunity,
Very
that
limited. Yeah.
network. They didn't have, I heard stories of lugs and Lego shows that started with people doing dial-up email,
Okay.
AOL back then.
Oh,
People used to
gosh.
share.
Don't be
People
haunting
used
me
to.
with that noise.
I tell you, so it, every single time, I rub shoulders with another Lego enthusiast, fan, or serious builder. I say serious builder, um, because yeah, there is a distinguishable line with people that do build with instructions and people that don't.
Yeah.
You know, and man, I am due for some instructions. I'm due to, build something that I don't even have to think much.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think at all. I just want to
Yep.
click, 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 clack.
Yep. I
Um,
get you.
and it's just it's been an amazing journey. Uh, being where I am currently, having the chance to share that passion with everyone. People are like, "Man, you really like Legos," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." What do you know?
Yeah.
Um, so and then doing the show again, I think was the show wanted? Maybe not, but was it needed? Yeah,
Oh, for
I
sure.
needed that experience, from Lego Masters, just to grow.
Yeah.
Again, dismissal or early, goodbye, whatever. I still took it. I took it in stride. Like me and my dad, we were like, the fact that we were here again, being the first Hispanics, we've after that we felt like Lego Masters.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I hold my hell. It's a good title, and people still to this day are shocked. You're a Lego man. They just don't. They I don't know. So I don't know. But yes, yes, people sometimes are like, "Did you build that?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did do that. I did, and it's like the I don't know, conception, I guess. I don't know. Do I look like no? No. Sometimes I even amaze myself. I'm like, wow, Manny. Yeah, yeah. But again, it's my fanship. I guess it's the love that I have. If I didn't like Lego, I wouldn't be sitting in a room in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And the the one thing that's impossible for me to even try to explain is that whenever I see a Lego set, whenever I pick up a set piece or anything that pertains to Lego,
Okay.
again, it takes me to it takes me back to that moment.
Okay.
It takes me back to I look at stuff and I'm like, man, I built that back in
Oh,
2014, and then
yeah.
it takes me back to like the month, the
Okay.
day of the week,
Sure.
what I was doing. That's the beauty of
Yeah.
Lego. That's what I really love.
Yep.
It's hard to explain. It's like, what do you mean? And yeah, it's just that feeling when I see something. It just takes me back to when I build it. It takes me back to like what I was feeling at the time, whenever it may be. that's
Well,
why that's why I asked that question about, again, when it comes to serious builders, people that build their own organic stuff, how comfortable do you feel building something and then tearing it apart?
yeah.
Building mods, being a mod builder. Again, when it comes to me, my bodega, I will always keep that.
Okay.
I'm staring at them. I've had them since like the first one that I built was my pizzeria, and that was in
Oh,
2012.
nice.
So
Okay.
then
13
every
years
single
strong.
so then every single year when I had the pieces,
Oh,
I built, a new module, for my subway.
okay.
It all started in 2012 when they dropped TMT
Okay. Yep.
um subway
Yep.
layer, which was I mean they could have done better, but it was all right. They made it up, for the second, third generation that they
Okay.
did, the subway layers. Um, so that's how I started. I started really going hard on building my own stuff versus because I picked up the pet store,
Oh, yeah.
the
Yep. Okay.
modules. I love that Lego started doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Talking again to a kid that's been building Lego since the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, 2000s. I mean, that was a blur. I can't remember anything cool that they did back then.
Well, they almost were
But
on their
when they,
way out. So, I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. So then going into the 2010s, late 2000, again to that, when they started dropping the module stuff, I was very
mhm,
impressed, super impressed. I mean, when they did the Back to the Future car, the first
yep.
one, as the Cusco, as like Lego ideas, man, I ran to the store so fast to pick that up. I thought it was, and I still have it. I still have the
Oh,
receipt. I
wow.
still have the box and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I love about Lego.
Sure.
I look at the receipt and I'm like, wow, man, it was 7:30.
Oh, that's
I can
crazy.
remember the drive back
Oh,
home. It was a
gosh, man.
Wednesday.
Holy
Dude,
cow. That's almost like got photographic
yeah,
memory, you know?
yeah. So that's one thing that I always inspired to do. Like I tried to add on and I tried to make it work, make it grow. Truth be told, I never did Star Wars just because I knew that once I got into that realm, it would be over. There's certain things, certain stuff that I don't get
I
into. I've always kept
gotcha.
it to like city. I've always kept it to like the modules. I love
Okay.
trains. I love the monorail. So
Yep.
I systematically, created this Lego room that everything has its own place. It has its own, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, that's what's great about it. I mean, you can build sets or you can build whatever you want. And you can
And I've
even
been doing
take
this
the
since I,
sets and build whatever you want, you know?
I've been doing this since I was five, and what can I say? I just turned 14. No, I'm 41. So at 41, I I think of what's left to build. I think of it like I've gone to Lego shows and I've made friends with so many people
Sure.
that just got more time than me, and I think about it like, wow, man, I can't wait till I get to that, you know just stage in life, just
Sure.
retire, kids is grown,
Oh gosh.
just that
Yeah.
part of life, that you just retired,
Yeah.
a leisurely
Yeah.
life, senior life, and that you still have this ability to do your
Yeah.
hobby, you know
Actually
um
have time for your hobby too. Because I
yes,
don't
yeah.
have a lot of that.
And again, I tell people the one thing that you want to do, you might want to do, is do Lego shows because it's really growth. You learn a
Yeah.
lot in any Lego show that you do, even if and people have a problem with showcasing, and I get it, because it's a
Yeah.
lot. We're our worst critics.
Oh
Let
yeah.
alone having a room of Lego fanatics, that walk by your stuff and they might be like, "Oh, I could have done better." You have to. That's something that you have to take. I know that's serious because that sort of stuff does happen
Yep.
at Lego shows, and
Yep.
it should be a crime.
I agree.
Shouldn't even be there if you got that
Yeah.
sort of stink attitude. It's like
Yep. Agreed.
it's unneeded. Versus other people that are like, "Oh my God, that's amazing, man. That is just," and there's an input and there's like, uh, not like what you should have done versus, um, for the next one, think about this
Yeah.
idea. Just yeah, or just shutting up. Walking by him. Being like,
That's
nice work.
yeah. Yep.
But it's still important to go through that trial and
Yeah.
fire. It's important for us to break those chains on, like, you know what, all this time, all this effort that I've dedicated, I've put away my partner or spending time with the kids to build this organic. But for what? Are
Right.
you just gonna leave it in the corner, or are you just gonna let it keep? Or are you gonna take it out to a convention somewhere where you could showcase? And the best thing is that when kids see it, they think it's the greatest thing on
That's a
earth.
good
They
feeling.
think it
Yep.
is the greatest. And then they're in a Lego room, and they every single time they see something, they get that same feeling
Yep.
over and over and over.
Yep.
And yeah, can't wait for my next Lego show. Hopefully, sometime this summer. I will be doing Brick Fair,
Oh, that's right.
Pennsylvania
Okay.
Brick Fair. I just did
Okay.
the registration for that.
Yeah. Well, I might depending how Brick World goes, I might see how next year goes to actually take something to display. But I wanted to bring up something else that you do before I wrap up here. You have on Wednesdays, you have a live series called Stud Buds. Can you
Yes.
let everybody know, for those who don't know, can you just let the world know what you guys do on Wednesdays, who you're with, what you guys do?
Uh, Thank you for the question. What do we do at Stud Buzz every Wednesday at 8? While I get into this, I got to shout out a few people in the comments.
Yep.
Bricktron Marshall says, "Oh, Lego is the best Lego." Brick Mosaics. Hi guys. Excuse me. iBricks is tuned in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hi to everybody that's on. So Stud Buzz came about like this fraternal thing with me and certain individuals which are shout out, and Stud Buds is not a singular thing. It's not just us. This is like an open community. We want to share more on Discord. We have a Discord community page, and we want to keep sharing that. But with everything with life, we're just tied up in a whole bunch of
That's
things.
life.
Needless to say,
I get it.
Stud Buds tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. It's Zach from season 2, Lego Masters, and we have Bricktron, who I just
Yep.
shouted out from um, Canada, and Jono as well. Tomorrow we're gonna have a real special guest. So to whoever watching this live, yes, tune in tomorrow because we have a great guest with us. And how did it start? There were certain things that I couldn't figure out. There's certain things that again I said I have no shame. I couldn't master it. I couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
Um, I reached out to Zach, and I've made friends with Zach from season 2, and we're two peas in a pot.
Okay.
I have the ideas, and he's just the muscle man. He does it. And then I thought, how cool would it be just for us to share this with the community, just share this understanding and vibe when it comes to like four humans, four individuals talking with Lego, dealing with Lego.
Okay.
So that's it. I mean, it's more complex than that because it's just so much that we want to share, so many projects. Also in the future, we we did Stud Buds so we could give the community and future Lego builders um some real raw and some real, of course, everything in a positive note.
Yeah.
But it's raw in the sense that we express what we're dealing with, we express what we're building, what we're talking about, what we're
Yep.
really into.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of cool, and we want to show people that yeah, sometimes you have to like, yo, please help
Sure.
me. Like I feel like that when I reach out to anyone, I feel like that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm like, yo, I need help. You don't
Yep.
answer. Like if I text you about, yo, what do you think about this? And people are like, whoa, that's cool. What, I mean, what do you want to do? Da, da, da. And then they end up calling me, yo, man, I saw that. What's up with that? And I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get to step, 12, but I'm over here stuck in 9,
Okay.
and we need to. All right, check this out. And then that's how the PDFs and studios started.
Okay.
We for years we shared PDFs, and that's what we want to get to with stud buds. We want to get into like a multi-screen. We were trying to do what is that called? What is that called? OBS. We were trying to do
Okay.
OBS, and just get that multi-screen. We wanted
Sure.
to get two screens, so it would have been what, six screens, two for each,
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
just so we could share what we're building on the table, and you see us, while we building. But it was all collective, and that's what stud buzz is about. It's everyone collectively, just doing similar projects,
Okay.
having the same narration when we're reading or writing a book, doing
Okay.
Lego.
Yep.
It's like we're all on the same page. We all
Sure.
got it. And if we get ahead on something, it's like, yo, Zach, man, teach me how that thing moves real quick, or send the PDF, or oh, we're doing in January we were talking about scale, uh, Legoland mini figure scale. And I was completely oblivious to that. I
Yes.
didn't know that Legoland had like their own scale versus the minifig.
I did not know
So
that.
then
Interesting. Okay.
I'm telling you, so that's what Stud Buzz was really. So now after we uh together, in our private chat, we're like, man, we should really share
Yeah.
that, the
Yeah.
the ratio and the scale stuff. And that's what Stud Buzz is about, sharing the stuff that we figure out or that we
Okay.
learn from ourselves.
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. So that is invaluable to people that are either new to Lego or just like to learn, because that's not something you can just find. Um,
Give me your
it,
shirt
you're
size. I'm gonna get you a Stud Buzz t-shirt.
Yes,
We're gonna get a
please.
Stud Buzz.
I will. I will rock that like none other.
We're gonna get you a Stud Buzz t-shirt.
Yes, I
But
will rock that. Yep.
and
Um,
and and yeah, I know we're wrapping up. Yeah, this is great. Thank you
no,
for this time. Um,
I seriously, I appreciate you, and I obviously, I want to have you again, because an hour is never enough. But I want to do this again, and
yes,
we'll think of something else to chat about, because you have a lot of knowledge,
I want to talk
and
about new sets. I
okay,
would love to talk about new sets, new stuff that's coming out now versus the stuff that we know. You could catch me in that in between. I'm like so interested on what's gonna come out
yeah,
versus the stuff that I haven't played with before.
sure.
There are so many pieces that I already have like sorted out that I want to play with, that I want to build
Any
on
chance you
and
can
stuff like that.
spin that camera and we can see that wall you're looking at?
Yeah, well, it's the I have the plastic. I have these. I have a whole bunch of these. I'm staring at a
Oh
whole bunch of these
man,
upstairs
okay,
that are
okay.
filled. So there are just is this one? Is this one right here? I just noticed it. I just peeped it. What do I have here? Mark Cruikshank, he said it best. Everyone has like that one cool box of like all
Yeah.
the neat pieces and neat stuff, that all them extra pieces that people get,
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
I have them over there. What was man, I'm tripping. Okay, we can start with this one. I have this here because this is I actually had these tires on here because I do appreciate again the old school stuff, and I do appreciate these
Oh,
springy
oh yeah. Yep.
tires that came out in
Yep.
the 90s. So I
Okay.
was thinking about doing like I want to do like a
Oh,
stagecoach.
that'd be cool.
um I'm stuck on like this minimalist. I'm a minimalist.
Okay.
I love building things like with the less count pieces. I mean,
Okay.
because we could build a car, just give me 2 million bricks,
Yes.
and we'll make it happen. But I'm more on the part usage. I really like magnifying and really blowing up, parts
Okay.
and creating a whole lot with a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
That's basically my
Yeah.
style. I like compact stuff. I like studs on the side. I like all that stuff.
Okay.
I mean, shoot. And yeah. So possibly, oh man, this is a cool piece right here that I put out. I love this
Oh yeah.
windshield. This came from the uh Shagmobile
Okay.
from the Scooby
Oh
Doo.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
the
Okay.
window footer.
Yep.
So now I looked at this piece and I started grabbing angle parts just to see how I could flush this. I
Oh yes.
actually started building on to see if we could do it on like this slant versus,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Okay.
typical way.
Okay.
It's just stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, and I have, yeah, yeah, so many projects that I want to work. This is another cool piece too. Yeah, this was a real cool one.
I have a couple of those in gray. I've never seen it in green before.
There you go.
Interesting.
I
Huh.
tell you,
Okay.
I tell you.
Interesting.
And these are pieces that I'm like, whoa, man, where did this come from, man? And
I
it has
yeah,
technic
I
axles, and
have
I'm like,
zero idea.
and these are exactly. So these are like the same pieces that I got up here. This is an old school
You
one
you know
too
what you know where my mind goes with that piece?
for a chassis.
You could build a pickle with that green piece.
A pickle, huh? A pickle. Hmm. I'm
Well, we were
I'm
we were talking
thinking
about Heinz earlier, so that's
I'm thinking I would probably build a figure off of this.
okay.
I really
Yeah.
would. Yeah, I would build a figure off of this. And I mean, I'd kill it. I'd put studs on the side.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'll make this a figure. Shoot, I don't even know. I wouldn't scale that. Yo, this is a cool one.
I have to go
Yeah, you
find
could probably make
some of
the
those.
head. I don't know, probably
I
like
see
I don't know.
what you're
I don't know. I
saying.
have this little
Oh
thread
yeah.
here, but I'm
Okay.
over here thinking probably like on a 2x3. No, 3x3,
Okay.
3 block head.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do
I
some
see what you're
serious. If
saying.
you get the gray
Okay.
ones,
Okay.
possibly we could build off of this. Maybe on
Okay.
a future show we could
Okay.
we could play with that.
I'll look for some of those green ones. I'll
Yeah,
look on Bricklink too.
but this is great. And again, thank you for the shout out on Stud by Small.
Yeah.
Hopefully, again, you could tune in as well.
Yep. I
And
will 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. every Wednesday,
and
Eastern time for everybody watching.
And about that, why did we pick that time frame? Because we were undecisive on when we wanted to, and also make time, all of us together. And it was on a Wednesday at eight
Okay.
o'clock. We told ourselves that's probably like the only time in the middle of the week that people got absolutely nothing to do but dedicate their time, to doing anything that's somewhat related to Lego.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's why we actually picked that time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, it's whatever works, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. But Key,
um,
listen, thank you for
I
this opportunity. This is
truly
amazing, and
appreciate.
hopefully we
Yeah.
do another one as well.
Oh,
I
there's
look
no
for
hesitation. Yeah, I will. Obviously, I'll reach out to you. We'll figure out another day or another time here in the upcoming future. But yeah, I appreciate you just taking the time out of your day to
uh,
stop by. So
and hopefully we see each other sooner. We're in the same
there
state. Maybe
is
we should.
there is zero excuse. I already told you. You like Permanis. Come on
Mhm.
over. We'll go to Permanis. We'll have a good old time.
I gotta get I gotta get the towel over there. I gotta get the
I
Pittsburgh towel. I'll
here
be
we
wearing my green.
here we.
I'll be wearing my green,
Well,
but I'll be.
hey,
You know what?
as I already showed you, this is what I wear over here. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And see, that's why I appreciate you. Just a different. That's
yeah,
different. And
yep,
again, I love I love my Dallas. I love my franchise.
yeah. Hey,
But
I mean,
Keith, again, this is great.
I
This was
appreciate
great.
you. I
We're gonna
appreciate you.
and again, we're gonna have to figure out a future project, future
Yep,
date. But to everyone that's watching as well,
yep.
thank you guys.
Certainly
I
appreciate
break.
everybody.
I challenge you to make a cookie out of that. All right. Oh, so yeah, he saw the brick. Again, Brick Man Mosaics, thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for
Yeah,
tuning in for this great time.
yeah,
This was
Manny, I
amazing.
appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Saludos, everyone. Yeah, what can I say? Follow. Keep following. When's your next show, Keith?
Uh,
Before we wrap up, when's your
I'm
next show?
actually Thursday. I've got another one on Thursday, so I've got
Oh,
a
nice.
two hit this week. So, yep,
Okay.
yep. So
Thank you, man. Enjoy the weather
I
over there
appreciate.
in
Yes,
the other
enjoy it
side, man.
tomorrow. Enjoy it for sure. So, all right, Manny. We'll see you
My
soon. Thank you, everybody.
man. My
All
man.
right,
You
see you
already.
guys.
See you
All right,
guys.
bye.